Hey guys, Zach and Flip with Rick here. Today in this new video, we're going to go over some of the limiting beliefs you might have in your business. I'll especially go over the limiting beliefs that I had in my business, and then we're going to go over the most common limiting beliefs that most new real estate investors have. Hey guys, Zach and Flip with Rick. Welcome back here. So I wanted to make this video today just to go over limiting beliefs and how they have stopped more real estate investors than anything ever has, especially in this business. So let's go over what is a limiting belief. Well, a limiting belief, I got this definition actually from Tony Robbins, so I have to give him credit for this one. But a limiting belief it's really the definition. It's a belief in your head, something that you think is stopping you or limiting you, a limited belief, from actually doing something. So Tony can get into it, I'll put some links in the bottom of this video right now of some things talking about limiting beliefs in your marriage, a lot of limiting beliefs in your business, just things limiting you from what you think you can do. I know a lot of people do that with working out. But I want to use this concept and bring it back to people starting in real estate investing and even people who are seasoned real estate investors who still have limiting beliefs in their business. So I want to go over a personal experience of mine, some of the limiting beliefs I had when I started real estate investing at the age of 17. So let's go over the 4 limiting beliefs I had. So the first limiting belief I thought when I started real estate investing by myself at 17, again, if you heard in the beginning, some of the earlier videos, Rick wasn't there just showing me everything, giving me modules and just telling me everything, just like the Karate Kid movies. He basically said, get your first couple deals here and I'll teach you after that. You gotta get it yourself. So started reading books, and I was a nervous kid, shy, nervous, skinny high school kid. And the first limiting belief I really had was I thought I had no experience. Real estate investing is just way too hard. I'm like, why am I even doing this? This seems so overwhelming. That was probably because the first book I actually read was on lease options and creative financing. Probably should have started reading that book first. But that's the first book I read on real estate investing, and it was really interesting. It seemed very overwhelming, but I started reading more real estate books, and after that, the limiting belief was starting to fade away. The second limiting belief I had was I was way too young to be a real estate investor or just an entrepreneur in general. I was in high school. I thought, hey, I'm too young. Sellers aren't going to respect me. As a 17-year-old kid, are they really going to think I'm buying their house? Because between you and me, I wasn't buying a house. I was actually wholesaling the house. But hey, that was a limiting belief of mine. Let's go over some more limiting beliefs before I debunk them. I was shy. I thought I couldn't actually talk to sellers or actually get the deal done in a pertinent situation. A situation where I'm just put in a corner by a seller, not physically, but verbally in negotiations where I can't handle the pressure. I wouldn't have ice in my veins per se. And my last limiting belief was I had no money. First of all, I thought I can't buy a $200,000 house. I only have like $500 in my bank account. I'm bagging groceries. Another limiting belief with the money was I thought I didn't have enough marketing dollars either. And so let me shatter some of these limiting beliefs for you. The way Tony might do it. I like to do it like a Mythbusters. So the first one was you had no experience possible, and that could be farthest from the truth. No experience is how everyone starts real estate investing, really. I mean, if you go to every single real estate investor, you talk to Rick, you talk to Max Maxwell, Sean Terry, Joe McCall, Alex, like all these great real estate investors that you may not know of or that you do know of, they started not knowing anything about real estate either. And I mean, just think about Rick. I mean, he It's just really funny to think about it. But he was working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and he didn't know the slightest thing about real estate investing. And then he just started getting steady education with years of experience to where he's at now. And that's how I started. I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't even know what a wood frame home. I didn't know much about laminate tile. I didn't know any of this. Like I was in high school. I was pretty clueless in high school, especially with everything. I was good with the books, but not really much about real estate, construction, anything like that. I didn't know. And it took lots of hard appointments for me to really just start understanding how to talk to sellers correctly, get cussed out over the phone, cold calling for hours on hours on hours. And the experience just kept going on and on and on. Eventually I got my first deal, turned into 10 deals, turned into 25, 30, 40 deals. And you just keep going up from there. And when I'm saying deals here, I'm not talking about I did 40, $50,000 deals, trust me. I would love that. But a lot of these deals I did starting out were little $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 deals, really tiny. And the spreads weren't that good. And then eventually you just get better with the wholesales and everything like that. So second limiting belief is that you're way too young. Now, trust me, you can be 12 years old still getting deals. It's a lot harder, but it is possible because, you know, with a motivated seller, if you have a motivated seller and you have a solution to their problem, they'll do anything really to make you the answer to their problem, the solution to it. And so at 17 years old, I came into appointments thinking I couldn't get the deal, and just walking to an appointment thinking I can't get a deal, then it couldn't work. I mean, do you think Dan Marino or Tom Brady, when they're throwing a football pass, they think I can't do this? You have to think that you can. I don't want to get all rah-rah here telling you if you think you can do it, you can do it. That is true, but I'm not here just to motivate you or tell you. It's just if you think scientifically, if you think you can get a deal, you have a higher chance of actually getting the deal if you truly believe in your heart of heart that you can get a deal. And I found that out at the age of 18, 17, that I'm getting all these deals and these sellers are like 50, 60 years old and they trust me. And I actually wholesaled, I found buyers, they closed, and I got great feedback from them and a great profit. So anyone at your age, I mean, if you even go back, you know, another guy I like to give a shout out to, I love getting shout outs too. If you go and see like Jalen White, when he was 18 years old, just like me, he was doing deals. I was doing deals too. So there's 18, 17-year-old kids just consistently getting great deals from going on appointments. It's proven you can't be too young unless you're maybe a baby or a very, very young person. But I wouldn't limit yourself to anything. The only limits that I could see was, hey, I can't actually go on an appointment at 1 o'clock if I legally have to go to high school. Then that's something we can talk about later if you do online school. But I'm going to leave that for something else. Another limiting belief that you possibly could have is that you're too shy. And trust me, I was as shy as they came when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. Really, when I started 17, I was not shy around kids my age, but maybe adults 50, 60 years old. And I really came out of my shell learning how to cold call. That really changed everything for me. Cold calling, you got a lot more comfortable talking to people. You know, you can curse at me for 5 minutes straight, especially at the age of 50, 60. I can look at you, blink, and just smile. And don't really care much about it because I've been cursed out so many times that I'm just not shy or nervous around any sellers at all. I see sellers as an opportunity for me to help them with their issues and for me to make money. So I love talking to sellers. Another thing and limiting belief I had was that I would actually lose money. Now that's something serious. You could actually lose a lot of money in real estate investing if you don't do things properly or if you don't think you're going to do well. If you have a bad game plan and you don't do any of the right strategies, have a right mentor, anything like that, you could lose money. I was very fortunate where I almost had a dummy-proof way of not losing money. Was in a great hot market with bandit signs where no one was really putting bandit signs out. So when I was 17, 18, just driving in my car at wrestling tournaments, just putting bandit signs out randomly, I got probably my first 3 deals from that, and it exploded from there. So I feel like I was very fortunate with it, but if I could go back, I'd still do band signs now. They were so cheap. I spent like $200 and I got thousands of dollars in profit as a high school kid. It was great. So now we're going to flip over and we're going to talk about some of the limiting beliefs. Maybe you can't relate to this. You're not 20 years old like me or younger than me. If you're younger than that, hey, I'm glad you listened to that. Let's listen to this now. So if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, if you're 100, you might have these limiting beliefs also. Let's go over some of them for the crowds over 15 years old. So a lot of people still think it's too hard. Again, with the right experience, and I hate to say with the hustle or the grind, you can still do it. If you put in the time and the effort, you'll get the experience. And I mean, it's just like shooting a basketball too. I love sports analogies. If you just shoot a basketball so many times, statistically, you're going to get way better at it. Dribbling, shooting the ball, with your ball handling skills. The more experience and time you put into it, the better you're going to be, just like real estate investing. And the more time you put into a relationship or into just researching properties, you'll do better. Another limiting belief people have is time. And that's a serious one. If you have a full-time job, you have kids. I have a full-time job, but that's doing this. So it's something I love. And I don't really have a 9 to 5 per se. So I can't really relate to that. I had one at the age of 18, 17, just being a bag boy working full-time. But that's for a different story. But if you have a full-time job and kids, hey, I can't really understand. I know Rick can speak on this issue a lot better, but a very interesting quote I heard, I don't remember who it said, but if you want time, you have to find it. Because if you have kids and a job, it can make it seem like you have literally no time in the day. And if you find time, if you say from this hour, I need to cold call, go on appointments to do this, you will find the time. You will work your schedule around it if it's important enough. So think about that. And the last two limiting beliefs I would say was there's just too many real estate investors in my market. Again, I work in one of the most saturated real estate markets out here in South Florida, and we do amazing. So being saturated, there's ways around it. Be a very good marketer, be very good on the acquisition side, and just be an overall team player when it comes to working with other real estate investors in there, and you will do great. And that's what we do. The other limiting belief I think is people think real estate's too complicated or it's unethical. And come on. You're helping motivated sellers out. You're making money. They're making money. It's a great cohesion between the two. And so those are the limiting beliefs you guys might have in your business, and I'm just here to shatter them into a million pieces so you can start your real estate investing journey. I know a lot of guys also have other limiting beliefs. Let's say you're a medium level experienced investor. You've been doing this for a couple of years. You make 6 figures, but you really can't make it to that 7-figure mark. A limiting belief is thinking you have to do everything yourself. That's one of the biggest things people from going from 6 figures to 7 figures, for a year in profit, was you think you have to be the one-man army and you gotta do everything yourself. If you have an acquisitions people, marketing, you have a team around you, a VA, it might be a little more expensive. I'm not telling you, hey, I'm not condoning hiring 100 employees into your business and try to scale like that like crazy and spend $100 grand and see if it goes anywhere. I'm telling you to slowly try to ramp things up if you're really trying to get more of a profit and make more of a scalable business besides you just working here. So those are limiting beliefs. I hope I crushed them and shouted them for you. Leave a like and a comment below and just tell me some limiting beliefs that you had when you started real estate investing. Zach and Flip the Brick signing out.